For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Amidst allegations that the MP for ancillary canneries has not been providing quality representation to his constituents, we revisit a recommendation that was made by you, the people of St. Lucia, to the Constitutional Review Commission as to whether somebody who is an MP should serve in the cabinet and also as a legislator. Also coming up in the broadcast this afternoon, claims of certain politicians disrespecting the nurses and doctors of St. Lucia. And of course, I'll be hearing from you at 452-2979. That's 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. And Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Hope you're having yourself an enjoyable and safe Tuesday. Once again, we go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is an issue that we have failed to neglect in St. Lucia since it first surfaced in light of the election of U.S. President Donald Trump. And that is the threat that is being posed to Caribbean officials who are facilitating the Cuban health workers who are providing their services to countries in the Caribbean. Of course, that would include St. Lucia. And there are claims of alleged forced labor practices, because a lot of those Cuban health workers come to the Caribbean, they work here. I think in the case of St. Lucia, what I've been able to discover unofficially, we have at least 100 such individuals working in the local health service. And they would be spread throughout the length and breadth of the island, but mainly at OKEU and also at the St. Jude Hospital, the Betty Wells Clinic, among other wellness centers. Now, what the Americans are saying is that those individuals, as far as it is concerned, are being exploited, and it's been described as forced labor. So those people, quote unquote, were engaged in facilitating the forced labor along with their relatives. They can face visa restrictions. Unfortunately, those are not the issues that our elected officials choose to discuss in St. Lucia. So far, we have not heard any statement in response to this threat by the U.S. from our Minister of Health. We have not heard from health officials on the island or even the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. We have heard nada. But can you imagine if for whatever reason or reasons, those health workers, those Cuban health workers, had to exit the health system in St. Lucia and return to Cuba, leaving us in a precarious situation? Because I'm sure you can remember, it was not too long ago that a number of our specialist health workers, medical doctors, etc., vacated the system. They resigned in frustration. Those positions have been filled or are being filled by medical officials from Cuba. That certainly would be a catastrophe. That would be a disaster for us in St. Lucia. And so the Caribbean Community Foreign Ministers say they are expecting a meeting with a so far high-level but unnamed member of the Trump administration to discuss recent official threats to revoke the visas of Caribbean government officials in countries that host Cuban medical professionals. Now, full disclosure, those medical professionals who are operating in our health system in St. Lucia, they are being paid. Those medical doctors are being paid. But the government of Cuba receives a substantial portion of the earnings, and often keeping a large percentage of the doctors' salaries, while the doctors themselves keep a smaller portion. The argument from the perspective of, I think it was Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, is that, after all, the Cuban government would have expended the resources to train those medical doctors. And if they are sent overseas to provide their services, obviously, from his perspective, from his vantage point, the Cuban officials, or government, would have to recoup some of that investment. And the same, he says, applies when, for example, various individuals are provided opportunities to train overseas, and the governments would be meeting that financial cost. They would have to come back and serve, and of course somehow the countries would have to recoup some of the investment that would have made in those individuals. So that's something that is worth discussing. But however, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says he's not afraid of losing his visa, and the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, has been saying the same.
We rely a lot for our healthcare delivery on certain specialists who over the decades we have obtained from India, from the Philippines, sometimes from Africa, and mainly from Cuba. Out of the blue now we are being called human traffickers because we hire technical people who we pay top dollar equal to local rates, but we are now being accused of taking part in the program where people are being exploited. That's somebody's interpretation. And of course, there are local people here encouraging them to take away our US visas. Today, I just came back from California. And if I never there again in my life, I will ensure that the sovereignty of Trinidad and Tobago is known to its people and respected by all.
Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley. By the way, he has about 5 more days left on the job. He is demitting office, if I should say prematurely, and making way for his successor, Stuart Young, as his People's National Movement prepares for general elections later this year. So that's something I think we need to pay very close attention to when CARICOM foreign ministers meet with the U.S. officials, maybe later in the next few days, a few weeks and so on. We hope that they can iron out the differences and this can be settled amicably because of the implications for our health system in St. Lucia and the rest of the Caribbean that is already under immense strain. The other issue. Over the last few years in St. Lucia, we have always been grappling with the issue of representation at the constituency level by some individuals. It is generally felt that one who is elected to serve in the island's parliament and who goes on to be part of the cabinet of ministers serving at the level of the executive, that sometimes those people having to juggle being an MP, being a government minister, that can prove burdensome. And then there could be a serious dereliction of duty as far as the responsibility is concerned at the level of their constituents. And from time to time, you hear the constituents say and complain, I am not seeing my MP. You are first elected to serve your constituents. And as a result of that, the Prime Minister of the day decides to include you in his cabinet. Now you must understand that the rigors of serving in those two positions would be immense, be burdensome. You have to travel, you have to serve as the minister in various portfolios, and you also have to serve your constituents. You have certain days that are set up so that you can see those people, and once in a while you'll have to miss appointments. That definitely will leave your constituents, those, for example, who might have certain critical matters that they want to discuss with you, very frustrated. And you need those people, you need their votes to be re-elected so that you can be a part of the cabinet of ministers. So you have to know how to juggle. You have to do it. And this thing about coming up with all kind of excuses, those do not impress the constituents. If you have serious water problems in your constituency, if you have problems with the road infrastructure, among other issues, lack of quality health care in your community, etc., you want to meet your MP. And it is important that you press the flesh, as opposed to seeing another person who is supposedly representing your member of parliament, and this intimate connection and relationship is not there. Because remember, when that individual, male or female, wanted your vote, they did the house to house, as laborious as it was, as tedious, burdensome. They made themselves available to you. The one-on-one discussions took place. And so that is the dilemma that Mr. Wayne Gerard, the minister in the office of the Prime Minister, is experiencing right now. And it appears to be glaring. since the Prime Minister and political leader of the SLP has been addressing this during their rally which took place in the Anstey constituency on Sunday, and a number of the platform speakers addressed this. But let me take you back to some 7 years ago when there was this lecture on the work of the Constitutional Reform Commission. And that lecture was delivered by Ambassador Earl Huntley. And he made one particular observation as far as the recommendation that was made to the CRC regarding persons who are elected to serve as parliamentary representatives.
Throughout the consultations with the citizenry of St. Lucia, there was persistently strong calls for reform of the current system that enables the political executive to completely dominate the legislative branch of government. Submission after submission urged the separation of the executive from the legislature. Specifically, a call was made for the Constitution to make provisions for the complete separation at the level of personnel. In a slight twist to the usual recommendation that a complete separation of powers be institutionalized, many St. Lucians urged the Commission to consider not only the separation of personnel and functions, but to create a system that would prevent the constituency representatives from exercising both legislative and executive functions. So they basically do not want their parliamentary representatives to be members of the executive or of the cabinet.
Don't second guess the people, you know. The people know what they want, because what they're saying is, if you're elected as my parliamentary representative, that comes first. Do not want to be a government minister, and also want to be a legislator, and also want to be parliamentary representative. So he's serving at the level of the legislature, the executive, and also want to be my parliamentary representative. And I don't know what was behind this kind of thinking on the part of the people who made those recommendations to the CRC, but somehow it does make sense in certain instances when some of our MPs cannot cope. It's not the first time we've heard those complaints coming from constituents. Remember at one time the late George Odlum serving as the MP for Castries, it was then I think Northeast, and he was also the island's foreign minister. People saying, Maka, where George? I'm not seeing George Odlum. And the same with Mrs. Sarah Flood-Bobra when she served as the MP for Castries Central and also External Affairs Minister. The Prime Minister and political leader of the SLP has been addressing this issue as to why the people of Anse-le-Ray have not been seeing their MP over a prolonged period. And remember, Mr. Wayne Girard won that seat during the last general election by 165 votes. He seems to be in a bit of trouble as far as retaining that seat. Let's hear from Mr. Philip J. Pierre.
Sometimes the biggest complaint you hear about Wayne, Maka will win. The biggest complaint you hear about Wayne, Maka will win. But you know why Upa will win? Because Wayne is in the ministry working on this sovereign wealth fund that will pass in Parliament on Tuesday. The sovereign wealth fund that will make the country safe for his children and his grandchildren. Wayne is in his office working on that. You know why you ever see Wayne? Because Wayne has to be in his office to ensure that St. Lucia continues the 3 years of economic growth that we have had for the last 3 years. That is why you're not seeing Wayne. You know why you're not seeing Wayne? Because I sent Wayne to England to negotiate in England for what is called a loan where we use the natural resources of the country to improve the water supply in this country. That is why you're not seeing Wayne. You're not seeing Wayne because Wayne has to go to discuss with the African Export and Import Bank that right now are building the schools for the people of St. Lucia. That is why you're not seeing Wayne. That's why you're not seeing Wayne. So I said to you, do not let anybody fool you with nonsense. Don't let anybody fool you with nonsense. Wayne Girard is one of the most progressive and hard-working ministers in St. Lucia and the OECS.
Prime Minister of St. Lucia and political leader of the SLP, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, addressing the SLP's rally over in Ancillary on Sunday. That's the constituency that Mr. Wayne Girard is representing in the island's parliament. But in the words of this same individual, Philip J. Pierre, you think Wayne coulda, shoulda do certain things for his constituency and his constituents?
Not what you woulda do, not what you coulda do, not what you shoulda do, but what you did.
So our question of the day, what Wayne Girard coulda, shoulda, but didn't do for ancillary canneries? And I have some of your responses. Let me see if I could go through some of them right now, and stand by to call at 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says that he coulda, shoulda, but didn't show his face in the community. Another person says, Wayne Girard, now you see him, now you don't. Another comment, the man is in his office working for ancillary canneries. Did you not hurt him? Those in the front row at the public meeting heard him and felt it as well. And some more of your reactions. Somebody says there he coulda, shoulda, but didn't use the money, he said Dominic Thief, and add to it to give the people of ancillary canneries the ambulance. Anyway, Fede will return to give the ancillary canneries people their ambulance soon come. Then a comment, a long one, but we'll try to go through most parts of it. No, he has done everything. He's the best thing that has ever happened to ancillary canneries since sliced bread. I wish they had put that same effort that they're putting behind Waste Girard, behind John Victorin, a community man from the soil who has served and continues to serve his community in all capacity. Another comment, Wayne doesn't know that he is the rep of ancillary. He's just there. He must show what he has done for the people there. He's just a messenger for PIP. Another one says he worked virtually for the past 3 years in the best interest of his constituents' COVID protocols. That's some of your reaction to our NewsSpin question of the day. Once again, what Wayne Girard coulda, shoulda, but didn't do for ancillary canneries. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And let me turn my attention to Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. Someone says here, Tim, today the fire sale of St. Lucia's assets continue with the passage of the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. And NewsSpinner says here, when there is an international crisis like COVID or Trump, I feel far safer with Alan Chasney leading St. Lucia than the incompetent, clueless Philip J. Pierre. Another comment reads, it's amazing that Trump wants to continue demonizing Cuba, but aligns himself with Russia. Someone says here, where are the trumpets who were talking about only immigrants who committed crimes would be targeted? Another comment reads, Team, where is our address from our Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister about the issue with Cuba? Another comment reads, they're all silent. I remember a few Lucians who were happy about his election. Now USAID has been cut by 80% and the Caribbean islands benefited from this. They are all quiet. Another comment reads, why are people angry when they're publicly asking to see their parliamentarian? Those elected officials came knocking on doors seeking your vote. Now they have disappeared like Shaka. Someone says there, I am certainly happy with the current Trump position. It's about time we spread our international relations. USA ain't all that presently. Let us look at mutual tradings with Africa, Mexico, and other South American countries, especially Africa. Another commentary reads, he has been working on that project for almost 4 years now. So why do we have a foreign affairs minister? That's it, one out of 10.
Thank you so much. Amanda, we'll have some more updates from you during the course of our program. Let us take a call on the landline. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Timothy, a pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. PW on the line, Timothy. Timothy, I have been listening to the discourse, what is happening in the Caribbean, when it comes to the Cuban doctors and the Cuban nurses. First of all, I would like to say that we have to be careful who we put in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That person has to be skilled. That person has to be well knowledgeable of geopolitics. And I believe with this government of the St. Lucia Labour Party, we do have the right person in the right place. I believe so, because some of the decisions that have been taken over the years have been very good decisions. There are sometimes St. Lucia has actually voted on certain things which I have agreed on, and sometimes they have abstained from certain things. But we must remember, from the beginning of the revolution and when Fidel Castro came to power in 1959, the United States have been trying to cripple this country, not just Cuba, but Haiti. And we all know that Trump is in power for 4 years. We can weather that 4 years without being bullied by the United States of America under the leadership of Donald Trump. We must remember that the decision that the United States have taken at this point in time, it's not a decision that has been actually sanctioned by the United Nations Human Rights body. So if we are part of the United Nations and the United Nations Human Rights haven't sanctioned this decision, we shouldn't go ahead and go along with it. Yes, the United States is a permanent member, but we know what have been going on for years in the country of Haiti and Cuba. The Caribbean leaders must stand steadfast and make sure that they do not give in to the government of the United States. What are we going to get if we get rid of the doctors and nurses, the Cuban doctors and nurses? Are we going to get 300 doctors in place of the Cuban doctors from the United States? We are not going to get that. The United States are not going to give us 300 doctors. So what we are going to do, we are going to keep the Cuban doctors. They have assisted us in one way or the other. If we go ahead and submit to the U.S., very soon they will tell us what we are supposed to eat. They are going to tell us that we are going to eat some of their foods that are genetically modified and some of the foods that have growth hormones. It starts from Cuba and it will end up with us bowing to the United States. We have to follow our own policy, foreign policy, that in the interest of St. Lucia. There are other countries of the world we can forge relationships with. There are certain countries in South America we can forge relationships with these 13 countries. From Brazil to Guyana to Venezuela to Ecuador to Peru to Chile to Argentina. These countries have a lot to offer. I've been to South America and I've been to many countries in South America, and I can see there are a lot they can export to us. The Canadian market is open. The African market is just across the Atlantic, and we can forge a relationship with Africa. In this new dispensation, we will not be bullied by the imperial empire, the United States. Timothy, I thank you.
Thank you so much. Somebody says the Cubans are true allies. They came to our rescue during the pandemic. They brought their expertise to the respiratory hospital, also known as VH. So a number of issues occurring and changes occurring around the world. They are forcing countries like St. Lucia and other countries in the Caribbean, one, to come together because of the common threats that are posed to them, and two, to change their mode of operation, because it has been standard procedure as far as how we do things for too long in this region. There's need for us to effect certain changes, and it need not take external factors to impress upon us the need for us to ensure that we, do things in a different manner. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I listened to the clip you played there by our Prime Minister. In fact, St. Lucia Prime Minister. And he keep on talking about Wayne. Tim, you don't think, I believe probably, if he's so emphasizing on Wayne is overseas doing this, Wayne should have been a better Minister of Foreign Affairs than Alva Baptist. Because you're not hearing Alva Baptist's name travel overseas and bring anything to St. Lucia. He's now telling you Wayne is negotiating with the British government to get a loan, am I right?
Yeah, that's what he said, yes.
Yeah, that's what he said. Now, to me, that's supposed to be for the External Affairs Minister, which supposed to be a man that is very busy on his feet, bringing certain companies a project or something that the country could have been benefited. And then he continued to tell you when he's busy doing this. When you elected an MP, in as much as you are in the office of the Prime Minister, there are so many ways that things that necessary you need those MPs, That is why you're electing them. I'm not saying you're electing an MP and the MP just sitting in the constituency office not going anywhere. But the way he talks as though you don't just vote the MP for the next 5 years and that's it. And that cannot happen. The people of Ansari have been crying for you. They not see. Imagine you on your program. When Girard ever called you or showed him?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, you have members for Central Cashews call your show, other ministers. But when he's just so preoccupied, I wonder what type of business he's doing for the country. If Wayne is so good, then he need to have a cabinet reshuffle here. Remove Alva Baptist from his post and give it to Wayne Girard. That's how I see it. You see? But anyway, let me just leave that there. I'm focusing on some of the pressing issues. Tim, the health situation, again, we have been speaking about that over, but yesterday I had another experience. That's at the George Fordlam Stadium, that's in Beaufort. And Tim, can we imagine the stadium is getting worse in terms of the services? Tim, it's getting worse. Tim, you even scared to bring relatives there, Tim, to go and see doctors. Some of them doesn't even want, just a pain I have there, let me just rub that. I think I might get relief when I sleep overnight. That will be good. Can you imagine? At some time I'm saying, maybe people just saying that I did not know the stadium was in that mess. Tim, even the curtain they put that separating those little rooms, when they keep the person overnight, like it's your bed where you sleep in. Tim, you can see the other person that is sick next to you. The curtain is tearing or whatever thing they put. That is tearing by pieces. What is going? You swear that is a zombie room, like you see long time when you build houses and you have something separated in the partition.
Mm-hmm.
A cloth or how they call it, or something separating that, and you could see somebody's feet on the other side. Imagine the thing is tearing. I look at that. I even took photos of it. Oh my God! And that area, that is where a female is outside because she need to have some surgery, some for her brain or something, some scan, whatever. But at the moment she is at the stadium, and the area where she is close to another guy. Come on, Tim, is that and they are asking her thousands of dollars there. Tim, we are in a serious health crisis, and that thing need urgent, even need foreign intervention. If not, Tim, I wonder how we're going to cope when we sick. Timothy, God willing, you hosting your program, you're not feeling yourself anyway, so that you have to go to OKEU or even St. Jude's or other those, medical facilities around, and you say thanks God every day. But when you see sick person that are sick very bad, and to see the condition, I wonder if, and the place is not too far from Musa, It's adjacent to Viewfort North. Why you cannot go there, sir, and see the state of the people and try your best to get a further additional amount of some assistance from the sale of our passport and try to see whether you can make the situation look better for the people. Tim, that is a crisis. And when I saw that yesterday, I say, I was at the heart of that problem. Something has to be done. Something, and I only hope the United Workers' Party is taking a good look at it. I know Mary Isaac did try her best. But when they win the election, the next Minister of Health, if you know you cannot deliver, please do not take the position. Please don't take it. And everybody knows it is just something that the Labour Party just tried because Musa was Minister of Agriculture. Everybody knows what become of ban. We cannot ship bananas nowhere except eat it there in the car, some other car, Barbados, having by it, and nothing else. And that's it. And then that person is Ministry of Health. I wasn't expecting anything good from him. If a man fail in agriculture in banana, far less to give him health, the responsibility to looking after health in the country. I don't know, it's only God bless us every day we have life. And like it says in the Bible, we have it abundantly. But the day we got sick and we reached to a point where we cannot do nothing for ourselves and we have to be at the stadium, by the time they bring us there, we already start crying because the treatment there, Mr. Poleon, it's not a good one at all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. What's that message? So May just happened to be the most powerful man in St. Lucia, taking over the job of the foreign minister, traveling more than the prime minister, foreign minister, and all other ministers put together because they all have time for their people. Shaking my head. Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages to go through. Somebody says they're via WhatsApp. Remember, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. What has Philip J. Pierre done for Bocage over the past 25 years? The people just like to vote. The man, not party. Only Romanus Lancico made a difference in that constituency. We need better representation after that general election. There are many UWP who don't come out to vote. People come out and vote. We need change. 452-2979. 452-2979. We have a call in line. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, trying to make a contribution.
Go ahead, please. You are on the air.
Yeah, Tim. Boy, let me tell you, things have really changed in St. Lucia, Tim. I promise myself not to call anymore because we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, Timmy. So you telling me, Timmy, government reached in a position now where a year and a couple months before election, that
Colin, have to speak up a bit. We could hardly hear you.
Yeah, I'm saying that the government is about a year and about 3 or 4 months to go. So you're telling me now you just turning the country in some kind of hypocrite kind of thing, because if you going to start campaigning and going out and asking people, forcing people to keep you in power, so Tim, what's going to happen if I come and I decide, well, not to support that party? So am I going not going to work, not going to get a contract, get myself victimized? What kind of thing that is going into the country? I mean, you in power. If I want to support you because of the kind of way your policies and the way you go about doing your thing, when time comes for election, I support you. But if you're going to force me to match, to say I support what Labour is doing, what the government is doing, what kind of politics we're planning in the country, what kind of hypocritical thing is that? Where you want me to play that I am supporting you and then go and vote against you? Why we want to do that? Why would a government subject itself to force the people to say that I am Labour and I support everything Labour? So you don't give the people a chance to say, well, look, I don't agree with certain stuff. I don't think that is right. So you don't give the people the opportunity to do that. You feel if people say anything bad about the government, they're against you. But that's what democracy is, Tim. People are supposed to be free to demonstrate their right to disagree or to agree with whatever they want in the country. We cannot want to come there and tell people about, oh, well, we're going to do that like that, and some people will not come in power, they'll never see that again, they will not. Why would a government subject itself telling another person that they will never, you're not voting for the person yourself? How could you tell the person he would never do this, he would never do that? What kind of violent kind of thing we show in children, and then we say we don't understand why the children like that? Why are we saying that the people could never come there? Why you in a job and say nobody cannot get that job that I have when you were hired by somebody? Timmy, let me tell you, this thing they have to stop, you know. Because if you all don't stop it, the elders, the children will not respect us, because we are taking no stand in the country for people to have, you know, a say in what is going on in the country. We just want to be there, and nobody else cannot replace us. You're supposed to come in government and do what you have to do. It's a service you give in the country, and we're paying you for giving the service to the country. And you're supposed to mold young people to be able to replace you, to be able to do better than you. Because everything that happened 10 years ago is mediocre now, you know. The phone you had 10 years ago, now you don't want it, you know. Whatever any government did 3, 4, 5, 10 years back, now is mediocrity, because people doing things that more modern, things changing. So you're supposed to find an avenue where people can replace you, people be free to look for people that know more than you, people that feel they could give their service to their country. You cannot force people to support you. That have to stop. And Timmy, you cannot go along telling people, if I feel that you have a match and I don't want to match, what happened? So I cannot work next day because you feel I'm not supporting you. So every solution have to support you all. You cannot do that, and nobody not speaking about it. So where are all the people that go university? Where are all the people that supposed to be able to speak out in the country? Where are all the people that feel they bright, they are A's, they say, well, they are 95%? Where are them? To speak about the things that not making sense in the country. So if you silence all these people that's supposed to speak about things that not working for the people, so what you're going to do, you're going to fire them or don't hire them or put pressure on them. What kind of government is that? And again, Tim, when the guy talk about Cuba, none of them Cubans don't want to come here. They're just waiting for America to open the door for them. You think if America open the door and make things easy on Cuba, Cuban go come here to come and work here? Everybody will still go to America. St. Lucia cannot pay anybody any salary for them to come here, live where they are to come here. Because they cannot go up there, they come in here. We say, let's not start thinking that people owe us to come here. Nobody don't owe us to come and do nothing for us. It's because of the way we are, the way we run things, the way we deal with people. People come in and move around us. Stop thinking as though people have to come and do that. Because people come in here to Bangstad to go to America, you know. Most other people from Guyana, from Jamaica that come in Lucia, from Cuba that come in St. Lucia, is for them to go. The whole point is to get to America, you know, not to come to do anything for St. Lucia. You know. So we must, as a people, use the people that go and study overseas to be able to speak out. You don't come and silent people. People must supposed to say that policy, I don't agree with it, but I think it could change. You're supposed to be able to speak freely. How people want to feel, well, they could want to bully you if you say something that contrary to what they are saying. That must stop. You cannot do that. You cannot come and campaign almost 2 years, a year and a half before election, go and campaign to keep you there. You cannot do that, because you can make people turn hypocrites on you all, make you all believe that everything you all do is good. You understand? Make the country look bad, because nobody not complaining about anything. Anyway.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much. WhatsApp message. It is clear that Wayne can't cope sending Wayne to England. Where is the Foreign Affairs Minister? Where is our consulate in England? How long did he spend in England? This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It's called NewsSpin. Still to come, some more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and of course our discussion. And Wasco explains why it has not been able to provide a reliable service to some of its customers.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbutai at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilac is transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card. Find a station or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucilac is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucilac's EV stations. Lucilac electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
Taco Thursdays at Senior Snapper from Thursday 13th February 2025 and every Thursday.
St. Lucia, your Thursdays just got a whole lot better. After work, there's only one place to be. Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper Seafood Grill and Margarita Bar.
In Cruzley Town, that is Marie Therese Street.
Live DJ, fresh tacos, and island vibes. What more do you need? Tacos for just $10 plus 2-for-1 margaritas and mojitos to keep the good times flowing.
Thursdays is Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper.
And you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full-body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
It seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Boutte. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses, to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you. Just for me? Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience. So I get to treat myself every time I shop? Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
This is what some people don't like me to say. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it is called NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Somebody just sent me a WhatsApp message. It reads that the St. Lucia Cuba Association celebrated its 8th annual International Women's Day fundraiser, and that is with a gala dinner and dance at the Harbor Club at Rodney Bay, and this took place on Saturday, March the 8th. The fundraising drive was to provide solidarity support of a shipment of medical supplies and other essential goods to Cuba, our sister island, which was hit by 3 severe hurricanes and a 6.8 earthquake last year. The band Big People Business performed at the event as a form of sponsorship to this worthy cause. Let's take a call via WhatsApp. Let's get this call on the air at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Hello and good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim, and good afternoon, Amanda.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I listened to a bit of the SLP's meeting in Astoria on Sunday. And in particular, I listened to Ernest Hiller. They seem to have gone back to the old playbook, which worked for them during the last election, of attacking Guy's Joseph honesty. He said something to the effect that a vote for Alan Chastney would be a vote for Guy Joseph. And he asked people to imagine if the UWP were to get back into government and something happened to Alan Chastney, and imagine Guy Joseph being in charge. Now, that thing worked for them during the last election to a large extent. They painted Guy Joseph as being corrupt. And, Tim, I am going to say it here, that I don't think that neither Guy Joseph nor the UWP has made a concerted effort to put that thing to rest. And it needs to be addressed, and they should not allow the Labour Party, and Ernest Hiller in particular, to give this thing any more legs. Ernest Hiller has no moral authority to come and question anybody's honesty, either in government or out of government. I am not going to call him corrupt on your show, but he does not have that moral authority. But it is time that I think Guy Joseph either take these guys to a court of law, make them provide the irrefutable evidence that he is corrupt, and in doing so, give them a date by which to do it. Give them a timeline. Give them 14 days, 21 days. Come on, take me to a court of law, or get a cease and desist order from the court to stop these fellas. Because there is nothing that they could provide in any court of law, line by line, to identify what is it that Alan Chastney or Guy Joseph is accused of. And if the UWP allows the Labour Party to run with that thing again, that might actually cost them the election. Because there's that dominant sentiment surrounding Guyana Island which has not been adequately neutralized. They need to neutralize thing. And when I heard Ernest Healer on Sunday, I said, they're going to try the same damn thing again. And we need to move. Guy Joseph needs to move on this thing quickly and to tell them to put up or shut up. That is my contribution to it.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. WhatsApp message. The Prime Minister says that Wayne Girard is busy working in the ministry. That's why the people of Ancillary Canaries are not seeing him. Am I to assume the other ministers are not working, so that's why they are seen by their constituents? Make this make sense for me. What has he done with all his hard work to make life better for his constituents? The SLP was in Ancillary only to attempt to try and fool the people of the constituency, realizing that the seat is slipping from them. We have a call via WhatsApp as we say hello. Good afternoon. Okay, we'll answer that call. What's happening in the chat room, Amanda?
NewsSpin says here the people of Ancillary will show him what he could have done and what he did not do when the next elections is called. Another comment reads, that would be a true separation of powers right now. We have an amalgamation of the powers where, because the executive branch and the parliament are one and the same. They have given the executive considerable influence over the judiciary to the extent that those two branches felt that they could have decided the head of the judicial branch. This could have never been what our Westminster Constitution intended. Someone says there the Prime Minister is something else. So we are not seeing Wayne Girard because he's working more than the PM and other ministers who always have the time to attack citizens. Well, you need to divert the amount of work that Wayne Girard has to some other ministers. Someone says here, but PW, this is not just a Trump ideology. So we don't know who will be elected as president or whether the Democrats will control any of the houses anytime soon. So any contingency action that has to be taken is now.
Okay, we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hi, Tim. Alan Shastany here. How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm okay. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, I just want to call because I think that what your caller just brought up is a very important point, and I did not want it to go unanswered. Because the allegations that have been made about me and about Guy and other members of my party, a lot of people believe that we have not attempted to go to court or to stand up for ourselves. So I want to say that I have 2 defamation cases against Richard that were established since 2017. And we're only made it to case management. One of them is going to be happening at the end of this month, and the other one hopefully is going to be commencing in June. And those cases particularly, one was where, if you remember, that Richard Frederick made the allegation that my wife and I and our family had bought a piece of land at Mula Sheikh. It's since 2013, and when we bought it, I was not even the political leader of the United Workers' Party, but he made the allegation that I had bought that because I had already been in discussions with Tewa King. He also has made the allegation several times that I, as Prime Minister, gave Tewa King passports for him to sell to make the investment that he did in DSH, and we've categorically refuted that. No passport were given to, or DSH was allowed to sell. All the money that Tewa King put into the DSH project was his own. And you'll also remember in more recent times that Miguel Frevier, as a reporter, made an allegation that Guy was involved in some preschool. And my understanding with that case is they attempted to get the case thrown out. They've lost that. And now the case is supposed to begin, but no date has been given for the commencement of the case. So I want to say to the caller, and I want to say to all solutions, that we will continue to defend our names and our reputation in the court of law. You don't get sometimes, sadly, the immediate justice that you would like to get, and you would think as politicians, and not that I'm asking for any favors, and because I think there are much more important cases that are out there. But the reality is, when you're in politics, your reputation is all that you have. On the other hand, we have several cases against the other ministers. There's one coming up where Richard Frederick's taken me to court on the Banan's land, and I'm looking forward this month to the commencement of that case because the evidence is overwhelming that the land was sold to Reno Gajada, not to give to Eugene. And it was very clear that SLASPA was approached and SLASPA was interested in purchasing the land, but they ended up selling it anyway to another person. So it brings out all the lies that have been being said. So I want to agree with the caller. I don't think there's ever enough that we can do, but it is 4 years, and I want to remind everyone of this. When we were in opposition the last time after we lost the election in 2011 to 2016, the government hired a gentleman called Robert Lindquist to investigate any wrongdoings. There's evidence in his report of people that did some wrongdoings, and the government chose not to go after them. Instead, they had Robert Lindquist continue to pursue a dead-end clause. And they were never able to provide any evidence of any wrongdoing as it pertained to Guy Joseph and the Hunor International Airport. And how could there be any evidence? Because the airport never started. No contract was ever issued. So, it's absurd to begin with. But the fact is that after having spent $1 million, not EC, $1 million, they were able to prove nothing. They finally came through and have hired a special prosecutor. The special prosecutor is going on 2 years. And again, there's no cases being brought against Guy Joseph or myself. And I want the public of St. Lucia to take that into consideration, right? Just because somebody says something over and over and over again does not and should never ultimately make it the truth. In the absence of proof, the only proof that we have is the work that Guy Joseph did. And I like to think the work that I did for my constituency and the work the United Workers' Party did in the last administration. So I want to thank you for that opportunity. I want to thank you, the caller, for bringing up those issues. I absolutely agree with him, but I want him to know that we continue to defend our names at every opportunity in the courts. Sadly, the court does not move as fast as we would like it to be, but we also refute any lies. And that's what happened to me in the House when an attempt was to have a lie accepted in the House. I will not do that. And I will provide the evidence for all those persons who want to see it, to show that I'm on the side of the truth, and my persons who are making these allegations against me, these are false allegations, and they themselves have not even been able to bring enough evidence to allow it to enter the courts. Thank you, Tim.
Is the House in recess right now?
We are in recess. We're at lunch break. So, I jumped on to listen to what was happening on your show. Okay. And I happened to turn on at the same time that your caller called in. And I thought it was an opportune time to clear the air. But is there another question you'd like to ask me, Tim?
No, that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. And thank you for the time.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Just so there from the leader of the parliamentary opposition, MP for Mico South, former St. Lucia Prime Minister, Mr. Alan Chasney. Let's continue to find out what's happening in the chat room. Amanda?
Someone says, our team, PW, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but America has for generations directly and indirectly told us and is telling us how to conduct business. Most developing nations are at the behest of those first world countries, China, America, Europe. Someone says here, if Wayne was negotiating for a loan for the past 4 years, it can be viewed as an indictment, or we cannot come up with collateral, so he is there waiting. Someone says, our team, it seems we're concentrating on the actions of the U.S. rather than considering the broader issues of the exploitation of Cuban doctors and nurses. The real concern here is forced labor and the mistreatment of these medical professionals. Have you heard the troubling accounts shared by these doctors and nurses? As a physician, would you be willing to work exhausting hours while surrendering 3/4 of your earnings to the communist regime? This appears to be what the U.S. is attempting to address. Unfortunately, there is a tendency in the region to react emotionally and overlook critical perspectives on such significant issues, highlighting a broader lack of critical thinking. Someone says there another travesty of justice just took place in St. Lucia. Parliament just voted 17-0 for amending the Constitution to include a bench trial without discussing and explaining to the public the difference between a bench trial and a trial by jury. As a result, many people will forego their rights and may end up in jail innocently because of the whim of a judge in a bench trial. And another commentary reads, caller guy has won a court case, plus the special prosecutor and the linguist is at work, but after 4 years, nothing has come up. So why are you still blaming Guy and not the gullible St. Lucians? That's the point.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. WhatsApp message. Are the majority of our drivers going blind during the day? I think they need to see an eye specialist. These drivers are driving in the hot blazing sun with lights on. Plus, motorcyclists driving with hazards, causing us drivers not knowing when they are turning left or right. Our drivers need to stop this practice. A call on the landline. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to Mr. Guy Joseph.
It's interesting that my political leader got through and I got through. Tim, that's the 53rd call I've placed before person speak.
The 53rd call today? You trying to get the line? Oh my God, sorry.
Trying to get the line.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I understand. The most popular show.
No, the most monitored, sir. the most monitored.
In St. Lucia, the most popular.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, I agree with the caller, as indicated by the political leader. Tim, the Labour Party is very smart in what they do. And I've been asking anybody to provide me with any evidence where the Labour Party is calling me a thief, that I can file a lawsuit against the person doing it. But I'm not getting the evidence because is a lot of questions being asked, is a lot of suggestions being made. Tim, the Labour Party is very deliberate in their approach. Have you ever heard the Labour Party challenge my representation in Castries Southeast and my achievements and say I did not work in Castries Southeast, I did not deliver for the people? You never heard that from the Labour Party because everybody knows better than that thing. That among the ministers who work and deliver in their constituency, I would feature on the top of the list. So that is not even an issue that the Labour Party is going to take on. And I have said it, Tim. I think I've said it on your show. I've said it on the platform. I am not satisfied with how my own party dealt with this matter, with the linguist report, because we received a list. Linguist said he got 1,500 documents that he investigated. And he submitted a stack of paper on a thumb drive with everything on it. And we are talking about, Tim, the weight of the paper, because it was FedEx to St. Lucia. So the weight of the box the paper was in was 70 pounds. So think of how many stacks of paper would weigh 70 pounds. Tim, you really believe that if the Labour Party had found a shred of evidence in any of these reports that was done by linguists, and remember, linguists spent almost 5 years investigating me. And you remember 2 years ago, the Prime Minister said that he has re-engaged linguists. He said that in his New Year's address. You recall that, Tim?
Yes, sir.
So, Tim, why is it on the eve of elections again? So how many years you have to investigate a man? Before, if I am as corrupt as they say that I am, if I did so many things in government, Tim, you mean after all these years, and I have been under attack from the Labour Party from my entry in politics in 2005, Tim. It is 20 years now the Labour Party has been attacking me. It is 20 years that they have been making allegations and accusations and all kinds of things. Tim, this Labour Party is very dirty when it comes to their politics. They have sent women after me, Tim, to try and entice me. They have called people who have been associated with me and offered them money to give information about me. And the people are asking them, but what information can I give you? But when they call, they don't identify who is calling. They would call and they would say, hey, we have an offer for you. We know you are close to Guy Joseph. Here's the offer. If you are willing to accept, then we can meet and we can negotiate. Tim, if the because nothing disappears in this country just like that. So if I stole money, Tim, it must be on an account somewhere, or it must be under my bed somewhere, or it has to be cashed from a bank, because you don't just pick up money on the floor. The Labour Party has checked my record every single place. Linguists checked everywhere in America and all over the world to see if I have an account somewhere. They've not been able to come up with anything. And I've told them, Tim, I am making my records available. Apart from being able to do, I did my integrity commission things every year I was in government. I did my tax returns. If they want the records of all my immediate family, the people that I am close to, my wife had to declare also for integrity commission because she was married, because she is married to me. She too, we have to file joint things for integrity commission. So it is not that I have not provided information. I've told the Labour Party anything you need to know. And Tim, I need to state on your record that ministers cannot just make ball just like that. There must be facilitators in the ministry. The only person who can sign things for payment from any ministry is the permanent secretary. And Tim, I can go down the line with you. Who are my permanent secretaries? Ben Emmanuel, who is now the what is the chairman of the board of Millennium Heights?
Yes.
Okay.
And former cabinet secretary.
Who is a potential candidate of the St. Lucia Labour Party. You really think I worked for 5 years, more than 5 years, 5 years with Alison Jean? She was DPS and then she became PS. You really think that if I did something in government that Alison Jean would not have that information to give to the Labour Party? Tim, when I came back into government, Tracy Poleon was my first permanent secretary that I found there. After she left, Philip Dalsu became the permanent secretary. And all during that time, Janet Bernard, who is Kenny Anthony's niece, was the deputy permanent secretary in the ministry for the 5 years. I never requested a transfer or say I don't want to work with her. In the Ministry of Housing, I had Alison Gajada. You remember I had the debacle with the Speaker of the House?
Yes, I remember.
Since when that's your role, when he thought I was going to speak about Alison Gajada. Alison Gajada was my PS in housing, and then Degazon, who is presently the cabinet secretary. So, Tim, all of these people who have been involved, the airport project was being handled. The financial part of the airport project was handled by the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Communications and Works is only the implementation part of it. We have nothing to do with the finances. Isaac Anthony was the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and he was the chairman of SLASPER when the airport project was being conceived. So, Tim, for St. Lucians to continue to believe year after year, the Labour Party says, oh, these persons are corrupt. I want them to bring one project that we did that was overpriced. You remember Steve said on St. Jude, people have to go to jail when they were waiving the project and say there was a $3 million project that cost $8 million. Tim, works are measured works. And when you excavate, you remove by cubic yard. They had ample opportunity to go there and verify. And these projects was never, I didn't sign off on any project. I didn't give instructions to anybody to sign up. So for the Labour Party, an earnest healer of all persons, I challenge anybody to openly call on any talk show or go on a platform. And I don't want the average St. Lucian, I don't want to take the average St. Lucian to court. I challenge any minister in the present Labour Party government to go and make a precise statement on a platform saying that Guy Joseph is a thief. And I will have the opportunity to take them to court and to let them prove what they are saying. Because, Tim, I know myself and I know what I have done. I know what I have not done. So I have called your program, I've been on your talk shows, Tim, I have been on Newsmaker Live. I have challenged the Labour Party to come out with one shred of evidence. You know the latest thing Philip J. Pierre said? He said to people, if you all have information, why don't you all give it to the special prosecutor? You remember some time ago, Richard said he has filed a couple things with the special prosecutor and he's expecting them to check on me anytime. You remember that, Tim?
Yes, sir.
So Tim, St. Lucians must not fall for the rhetoric of the St. Lucia Labour Party. These are the same people who said Sir John was corrupt. And they took Sir John to court. You remember over a drain in Shantytown, or was it the man? And nothing came out of it. So Tim, the Labour Party, that is how they operate. That is what they do. And I want St. Lucians to understand. In our laws, a man is considered innocent until proven guilty. I know Rick said for politicians, you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. I don't necessarily agree with Rick. And as Alan said to you, Tim, you know, I had to take my case to the Caribbean court. In fact, I didn't take it there. They took me there because the magistrate dismissed my case after it had gone to... And look at how corrupt the court system is, you know, Tim. And I can say that. That is where the corruption is. I had gone to court 2 or 3 times on that matter with MBC and Miguel Favre. Then the matter was taken to... They sent it to mediation. We went to mediation. We had an agreement in mediation with McDowell. He agreed what we were settling for and everything. As soon as we lost the elections, they reneged on what they said because no documents had been signed. The next thing I heard, the magistrate who sat, and the magistrate who sat on it is a Trinidadian magistrate, who sat on the matter, dismissed the case, and remarked to somebody that they had just dismissed that case. I was not even invited back to court. And you know on what grounds they dismissed the case? They said we did not serve MBC properly. Are you hearing me, Tim?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
After the matter had gone to court 3 times, it went to mediation. And then a new magistrate, or the magistrate who was on it, said, all of a sudden you didn't serve properly, or you didn't serve the matter to the right address. So I appealed to the OECS court. I won the matter at OECS court. Thaddeus Antoine, who was the lawyer for Miguel and MBC, appealed to the CCJ. We went to the CCJ. And then we won the matter at the CCJ. You know, Tim, is when I called your program and I went on the platform and I said my case is not being called. All of a sudden, they gave me a date for the hearing was on Monday of this week. They'd had another hearing, and then they postponed everything to the 10th of July of this year. You know how many years that has been going on, Tim? Now, if I have my way, Tim, I don't waste my time and pay lawyers money to go to court. But there's no justice in the system in St. Lucia. And even when you have done everything right, there's no guarantee you will get fairness in your treatment, because judges can be bought. Look at how long Mr. Innocent was not the one that's the special prosecutor, the other Sean Innocent. A day I'm sitting down upstairs La Place Carinage, waiting for my matter to be heard. And the next thing, when the judge was passing, Mr. Innocent, he said to me, what you still doing here? I said, I'm waiting for the case. He said, nobody came to you and told you that your case is I've removed myself from this thing. And that's when he said there was political interference and that he was no longer sitting on these matters. Tim, I have tried my best. I have been honest in what I am doing. I've tried my best to challenge issues. On 3 occasions, I wanted to take Richard Frederick to court for statements he had made about my wife, myself. Every judge, every lawyer I went to, tell me, boy, leave this thing alone. You know, you safer, just let that pass. Is that what we call justice? That we have a man in government that even lawyers in this country is afraid of taking him to court? Because they feel that your life is in danger if you do so. Tim, we are in a bad place in this country. And that is what Ernest Hille should address. But at another time, Tim, because you've been very lenient in giving me time, at another time I will call your program and I will deal with Ernest Hille and his insinuations about me. I never wanted to be in politics. I'm not like them who came and fight to be in politics. I was invited to be in politics. I didn't invite myself into politics. But Tim, that's for another time. I appreciate the time you have given me. And I want to assure St. Lucians that if there is one man who is honest in St. Lucia in what he has done in the political arena, this man is Guy Joseph. And I say that without fear of criticism from anybody. People can believe what they want. And I've said it. Your reputation is what people think of you. Your character is who you are. And I know that when it comes to honesty in politics and in life in general, my character is intact. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Just there from former government minister, Mr. Guy Joseph. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, we'll have at least one more call. And Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. And we'll be going through the NewsSpin news of the day.
Lucelec is transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card. Find a station or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucelec is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucelec's EV stations. Lucelec electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
Craving some irresistible KFC chicken? KFC Wow Box has got you covered. For only $22, you get 1 piece of juicy chicken, 1 delicious sandwich, and a side of crispy regular fries. This offer is available at all KFC stores island-wide, and now with both dine-in and delivery options available, you can enjoy your meal however you want. Come into the store and enjoy the KFC experience or have it delivered to your doorstep. Don't wait, order now through WhatsApp at 484-0400 or visit our website, kfcstlucia.com. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Get your KFC Wow Box today, whether it's dine-in or delivery.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Watch this view here. If you missed it, yeah, itchy nose.
The St. Lucia National Cricket Association Prime Minister's Cup is back. It's going down at 4 venues: PI, Philip Masnet Grounds, Groseley, and Mindu Philip Park. Games will be played both day and night. Will the champions Groseley defend their title, or will we see a newly crowned champion this year? Teams taking part: last year's champion Groseley, runners-up Central Castries, South Castries, Babano, Monrepo, Micoud, Soufriere, Vieux-Fort North, Vieux-Fort South, Dennery, Choiseul, Babia Valley, and Deriso. This tournament bowls off on February 18th with defending champions Groseley coming up against Babano at 7 p.m. on the Groseley playing field. Games will be played from 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. Come out and support your favorite team. It's the St. Lucia National Cricket Association Prime Minister's Cup coming to a venue near you. Who's gonna emerge champions this year?
It's the Tile Thursday specials. The sale you've been waiting for is finally here, happening this Thursday at the Tile Gallery. Whether you're renovating your kitchen, bathroom, or updating your entire home, don't miss out on the chance to save big on high-quality tiles that will elevate any space. Mark your calendars for Tile Thursday specials, the last Thursday of every month. You can save up to 50% off on selected tiles. Located at M&C Home Depot in Sunville. Hurry in! These amazing deals are in-store only, and supplies are limited, so be sure to grab yours while you can. Remember, Tile Thursday only happens once a month, so don't miss out. Visit the Tile Gallery this Thursday.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it's called NewsSpin, referring to the SLP. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, look at the constituencies they are going to. It's where they are weak. Dennery South, Castries Southeast, Babonneau, and Ancillary. We have another WhatsApp message. Tim, there's a bank in Castries. You cannot enter inside with your hat. Tim, that's ridiculous. You're not in a courthouse. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Okay, somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, I'm hearing that a man is giving pigs in Dennery North and a woman is... Okay, I don't want to go through that one. No, not at all. WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mr. Leonard Motut. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Tim. Tim,
Yeah.
I listened to the Honorable Alan Chasney a moment ago and then Guy Joseph, and I just felt compelled to call in on this subject, on this matter. These are two of the individuals who have faced the most allegations and accusations leveled against them from the St. Lucia Labour Party. Now, let me just say this. First of all, I want to give Alan Chasney credit as the leader of a government who, when they were dealing with the Public Prosecution Act, he was responsible for removing any statute of limitation on any act of corruption or any wrongdoing by politicians. So it could be 100 years after you serve. You can still be taken to court and you can still be prosecuted. Okay? Now, that doesn't sound to me like people who are afraid of anything or having anything to hide. But the point is, since the Labour Party started making allegations and accusations about Guy Joseph, okay, they were in office for 5 years after 2006, 2011. Then Guy Joseph came back into office, it continued. They have since been in office for about 4 years. So that makes it 9 years since they had the levers of power, who held the reins of power, and they were in a position to access all the information, all the documents, all the evidence that they would need, okay, to prosecute Guy Joseph in particular. And I am specifically pointing at Guy Joseph because this is the politician in St. Lucia who has been accused the most, who has been vilified the most, who has been investigated the most. So if there is one politician that St. Lucians can safely say, well, boy, there is nothing on him, it is Guy Joseph. Because he mentioned to you earlier that there was Linquist, who has been paid millions of dollars to investigate Guy Joseph. There is a special prosecutor that has been in office for almost 2 years now, okay? And it was Guy Joseph's name was mentioned again, when that was being deliberated on. And to date, the St. Lucia Labour Party has not offered one shred of evidence about or against Guy Joseph, nor Alan Chasney for that matter. But they continue this nonsense, and St. Lucians are accepting that. Now, that goes to a person's integrity. That speaks to a person's character. When you could do things like that, just cast allegations, make aspersions about people that are baseless, that are unfounded, and that cannot be substantiated. I think that has gone too far now, and that nonsense has to stop. Because at the end of the day, when, of all persons, Ernest Hiller is talking about what if Alan Chasney is Prime Minister and Guy Joseph is asked to act. That has happened on several occasions between 2016 and 2021, where Guy Joseph acted more than a dozen times when Alan Chasney was out of the country. In addition to that, there's one occasion I remember where he acted for at least a month as Prime Minister. Okay, and so what? So what? What we have to worry about now is the fact that we know the Labour Party has created a position called Deputy Prime Minister, and Ernest Hiller is the Deputy Prime Minister. What we have to worry about and try to imagine is if something happens to Philip J.P.N. and Ernest Hiller becomes Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the same Ernest Hiller who was in the High Commission during the Jufali matter, the same Ernest Hiller with the Range Rover matter, the same Ernest Hiller who cannot account for billions of dollars from the CIP funds. Can you imagine that Ernest Hiller becoming Prime Minister of St. Lucia? That is what we have to try to imagine, you know. And you see, at the end of the day, that nonsense has to be stopped, and St. Lucians have to stop tolerating and entertaining that nonsense from the St. Lucia Labour Party. Because it cannot be right, it cannot be fair, it cannot be just for politicians to just feel that they have a carte blanche to just, you know, try to win political favor by doing things like that. You all have had the opportunity, if there was anything on Guy Joseph, to prove beyond doubt that that is so. You have failed to do so because you have nothing. Okay? And so, at the end of the day, I will say again to Ernest Hiller, Philip J.P. and the rest of the St. Lucia Labour Party, if you cannot put up, just shut up. Okay? Out of respect for your listeners and the rest of St. Lucia, that is how I'll put it. Shut up if you all cannot put up. Because that nonsense is spent, and you all will not fool the St. Lucians with it anymore. It will not happen again. And just remember that the Alan Shastner you all are talking about put in place, okay, a provision under the Public Prosecution Act that it can be 100 years from now. You can be prosecuted for what you have done. So the politicians who know that they have things to hide and they have committed acts, beware. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Just so there from former government minister, Mr. Leonard Spider Mutut. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room as we're getting all set to conclude the broadcast.
A few comments from earlier, Tim. And NewsSpin says, I will play it again. If the UWP was coming out to dismantle the SLP lies, how they are doing now, they would still be in government. They never challenged Richard Frederick Flies and allowed them to be believed. How they are on like him, like white on rice, he and his acolytes are crying. Let this be a lesson. In and out of government, do not allow lies to go unchallenged. Another comment reads, maybe Mr. Guy, you are not being vocal enough. Apart from being on a political platform, where else are people seeing or hearing you? Make your presence felt. Go on every radio station, every TV station, all internet platforms. Someone says there are just solutions put themselves under government that makes us afraid to feel free. But in this country, there are PhD and graduates in many different fields but can't talk about anything in St. Lucia. Are they not afraid? Someone says here, wow, sounds like an espionage movie. They sent women behind Guy. What a wow. Is that what politics is today in sweet St. Lucia? Another commentary reads, Hiller have no shame. His name has been mentioned not only locally but internationally with regards of corruption. He is trying to deflect. Someone says there, what has Arif done with all the papers that he was waving in the air and called them proof? Why has he not taken the proof to the special prosecutor? And the commentary reads, that's sad. The justice system has become so political that justice is served based on your political affiliation. And that's it for me, Tim.
Thank you so much for that update. And let us hear from Mr. Philip J. Pierre, political leader of the SLP, making reference to persons disrespecting doctors and nurses.
The Workers' Party wants you to disrespect the nurses and doctors in St. Lucia. They want you to disrespect them.
The St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association, the SLMDA, has issued a statement in support of its president, Dr. Merle Clark. In the statement issued on Monday, August 19th, the SLMDA noted that Dr. Clark has been subjected to public attacks and character assassination, subsequent to the letter written to the OKEU Hospital Board. The letter was written to highlight and seek intervention to address serious issues within the health institution. The body of physicians has dismissed as baseless suggestions that she is affiliated to the opposition United Workers' Party. According to the SLMDA, the letter written to the OKEU board accurately reflects the legitimate, well-known concerns of its members. During Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre was questioned about the online posts and comments, which mainly came from SLP-friendly social media pages. He claims to have no knowledge of them.
We did hear what Minister Richard Frederick said pertaining to the President, Dr. Mulcahy.
I didn't know. What did he say?
But you were at the same function.
What did he say?
With him when he referred to as a Zelev of the UWP.
Oh, he said so. Okay. He called her name? Did he call her name? Did he call her name?
He made reference.
Did he call her name?
He made reference.
Did he call her name?
I can't be certain if he recalled her name.
I didn't recall he called her name. Okay, go ahead. What's the question?
In any event, what we are seeing though, however, on certain platforms, and the platforms that seem to be aligned to the St. Lucia Labour Party, her name is being clearly called out with photos of her and with some of the most disparaging comments on those social media platforms.
I don't subscribe to that, and if it's happening, I'm not aware. I don't subscribe to that. I'm not subscribing to disparaging remarks about anybody. I don't get involved in that. So I can tell you, Philip J. Pierre is not associated with any aspiring remarks or whatever you call it about anybody.
The Prime Minister has emphatically stated that he will not engage in personal attacks on professionals.
My politics is about performance. This is why I've been re-elected 6 times. I don't get involved in this thing. I don't get involved in it. I can't control other people. But I am not involved in any remarks about any non-politician. You've never heard me say anything disparaging about any civil servant. I will never do what I will never do what I saw about Alison Jean. I will never subscribe to that. I will never. I don't believe in that. I believe in dealing with politicians because they are the ones who up front in politics. As far as professionals, I do not get involved in attacks in individuals.
The Prime Minister was asked whether he would actively encourage his supporters to embrace those beliefs as well.
Would you as political leaders say the same to your base and supporters?
I've told him I can't, in this business you can't control everybody.
The SLMDA meanwhile has urged the public to not lose sight of the critical issues at hand by being distracted by attempts to misrepresent the situation.
Because we are fighting no war with no nurse or no doctor. Think I'm stupid? Anybody looking for war, be the Labour Party will fight with nurses and doctors, and the Labour Party are doing nothing so.
A few moments later,
a Zelev of Flabo will write a letter undermining the work that we are doing in improving healthcare in this country.
So also shared his thoughts on the Castries Central MP's statement.
I don't condone what the minister said. I don't condone it. And if I have to call him out, I'll call him out. I am never one that will allow any of my ministers to say what the opposition says. Never. What I'm saying to you is if the minister said that, if the minister implies that, I think the minister should not have implied it. And if he did, I want to tell you, I believe he should not have said it.
When the housing minister made the comment at that SLPYO conference, it was in the presence of the Prime Minister and the political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Mr. Philip J. Pierre.
PJP, how are you? You alright, my boy?
And finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. It reads, Philippines ex-president Rodrigo Duterte arrested over crimes against humanity. Philippines ex-president Rodrigo Duterte arrested over crimes against humanity. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. That's NewsSpin. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.